I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live, and I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan society without any bloodshed. That is why...
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again, this time just as friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it, before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call, is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danan, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to hurting each other. Oh, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world, and it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Shion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Shion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Shion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Shion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is. Our minds are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegis, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renis Alma stolen, Lenegis is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegis is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegis is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape in. As long as the whole satellite doesn't suddenly explode or something, they should be fine.
Wait, explode?
In any case, If we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lenegis. The people there will be fine, I'm sure of it.
Right.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit, and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational.
That's...
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the great spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the great spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar, is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, Is it too much to ask for Hevrick 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now all we have to do is rest up and wait. Once the Fall Knights is good to go again, we'll be taking off for Rena right away. Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe, but with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrick 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details, so assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying. But we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more. That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Heverick 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were
No,
thinking?
that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrecht 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Xion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrek 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the Hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate. Ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renis Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength, it's that it's sentient too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
We might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renis Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renans, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day,
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
I wonder what Helganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Put a pin in it, and you can do all the research you want when you retire.
I can think of worse things than a retirement dedicated to research. As for whether Rena is amenable to an aging specimen...
It's a little early to be giving it serious thought just yet.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Oh, we didn't say there's anything wrong with dreaming.
In your case, Dohalim, dreams have a habit of spiraling into something else.
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're too helpful to let retire.
Why do I feel this is less of a compliment and more of an ultimatum?
Just a friendly suggestion.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What? No! I mean... Wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not... hugely? Hey, Kisara, well, I've got you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hootle.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hootle!
Ow! Seriously, what the hell? You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zeugles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegus.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait. Can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game. Shield from calamity.
Demon Fang!
Don't mind if I do.
Try harder!
Lunar Claw! A whirling struggle.
Win!
Mega Winds of Heaven! Annihilate!
They smite with blackened blade. The enemy hears ours too.
Here, you'll soon see about that.
Now you see what I can do!
Demon Fang!
Here's a
Take
healing
this!
Take this! Demon Fang! It's on!
Captivity!
Not today! Demon Fang!
Seismic rupture!
Now!
Totally!
All the power...
In an instant! Impact Claw!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Here I come! There!
Resurrection!
Eternal devastation!
Where are you going? Let's get you all tucked away.
Demon Fang! Sword Lane Alpha!
You're being targeted.
Here's the evil.
Here I come!
Shine! Radiant light! Anything in armor is all mine!
I'm drinking orb. Confiscated.
Not much longer to go.
Come on!
Now.
One
You
final
fight
push!
better at it. Let's do this together, Alvin.
Let's get you all tucked away. Radiant love here.
Eternal devastation!
Here's Heaven.
Blow away!
Up and at 'em. Let's
You
go.
picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang!
Now,
Take it.
Love.
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Lightning condemned.
Penumbra! Take this!
Pierce,
I'm not done.
illuminate the dark. Magic is there. Lunar
Resonate with the earth.
A chain between
Summon
heaven and earth.
I can carve through war! Rending you apart!
Eternal
Bloody howling!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Alphen,
I can't forgive them for what they've done. But I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danan slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. We have to stay the course.
I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegus, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. The Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years, no, even before that, just how many people, Renan or Danon, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
This one's tough! I'll take you all off!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Demon Fang! Win!
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
You're mine!
Lunar
This one's all
corruption!
mine!
Lunar blast!
Eternal devastation!
Nothing gets by here!
Prepare to be sealed, though fleet of foot. Actually, perhaps sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
I'm not done! It's over!
Now,
You're this fear!
Demon
Take this!
I owe you one!
Freeze laser!
Crush!
in a bind!
Wind
Here
astral
I come!
energy!
Elusive
Eternal
deity!
devastation!
It's
over!
Penumbra!
Gemini Aqua!
Win!
Raging
We
Storm!
did it!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that wasn't true.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
Vacuum blade!
In here!
Take this!
Where are you going?
I'm not done!
Captivity!
Crush!
It's showtime!
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the toxic!
Demon Fang!
Now!
Reload! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I've been doing really great lately.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danons?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danons. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danons too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Xion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
Is this the dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate.
Eat dirt!
Reload!
Demon Fang!
Your wings won't save you from me. Glacial Spear.
You pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Denied! A wailing banshee of lightning! Searing flame! Reload! Divine savior!
Demon Fang! No escape!
I need
Winds of heaven!
something.
You need to be healed.
How the mighty have fallen.
Demon Fang! No escape!
In a bind?
No escape!
Illuminate the
Eternal
dark!
devastation!
Only glimpse,
Demon
only
Fang!
recover! One more time!
Burn in hell!
More of them?
Eternal devastation! I'm not done!
Where are you going? Primed and ready.
Bloody howling! It's over!
This one's mine.
Eternal devastation! Demon Fang! Totally! In an instant! Impact Cross! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Demon Fang! This one's all mine!
A wailing banshee of lightning!
More techniques?
Keep on and take them down.
That's not to give me any ideas.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that isn't true.
No,
Eternal devastation!
Now you see what I can do!
I'm not done! Demon Fang!
far enough.
Illuminate your air!
And in your deck, Dohalim. Then tonight's meal is on you.
Eat dirt!
Between heaven and earth!
Eternal
A wailing
devastation!
banshee of lightning!
We turn the tables on him.
I'm ready.
In an instant! Impact Cross!
Piercing!
Mirage!
In
In a
here!
Flame
bind?
inside me, yours to be let free!
I'll be saving this one!
Raining Slash! Crush! Blow away!
Searing flame!
Can you take it?
Reload!
Take this!
You picked the wrong fight!
Lunar horizon! It's just
Demon
time!
Fang!
Do it.
Chill!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alvin.
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you.
Holy light! A chain between heaven and earth!
There!
Let them mark.
A wailing banshee of lightning!
Demon Fang! Back to your blade!
Searing flame! Reload!
Do
No
it.
escape!
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes!
More?
Lunar current!
Eternal
Lunar
devastation!
blast!
I'm all sucked
Escape!
up.
Annihilation!
Demon Fang!
Flame of fury!
This one's mine.
Crush! Ignite!
I'll grind you into dust!
Demon Fang!
Do it.
Throw them away! More?
Hear me!
Resonate with the earth. This one's mine.
I'm ready!
It's over! Astral energy! Full throttle!
A flawless victory.
No further! I'm not done!
A whirling
Another
bubble!
flame inside me! Yours will be let free! You're finished! Not today!
I'm ready!
Dohalim. This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes!
Hold on to your art!
Mirage!
Here I come! Radiant pierce!
Crush! Demon Fang!
Armor won't save you! Elusive
No
deity!
escape!
Back into the flame!
Eternal devastation!
Mega
Demon Fang!
Dance in the wind! Mega air thrust! Illuminate the blah 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 magic! Holy light! A chain between heaven and earth!
You're mine!
A wailing banshee of lightning! Divine savior! Blah blah blah!
Negative
Air
Demon
thrust!
Fang! Chill!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Rending
Rending you apart!
Bloody
howling!
A chain between heaven and earth!
This one's all
Wailing
mine!
banshee of
You picked the
lightning!
wrong fight! You're mine!
Do it.
Shield!
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes! A merry destruction!
There's still more to go.
You're mine! There!
Got you. Go. I can handle it.
No further!
Back to your blade!
Now for something exciting!
Eternal devastation! Demon Fang!
Now, Redwell,
Astral energy! Full throttle! Haha! Am I on a roller? What?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're native to Rena? Or could they be Zoogles somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourselves around them.
Brace yourself!
Hold
This
on
one's
to your
tough!
mark. Here I come! Not on my watch!
Enough! This one's all mine! Eat dirt!
Insects should stay on the ground.
Now here's my calamity!
Healing circle!
Denied!
You got flyers!
I've got this! Let him mark
what I
me.
can do.
Thanks! All yours! I'm not done! The flame inside!
All yours, Kisara!
Now! You eat dirt! Demon Fang!
Come on! Healers of purity!
Take this!
I never miss! Eat dirt!
Crush!
Nail
Demon
strike!
Fang! I'm ready!
Doling! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry distraction.
Do it! There's still more to go! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Dance
Not a
in the
chance.
wind!
Soaring light spear!
Chain between heaven and earth!
Soaring light spear!
A wailing the
Take this! Vacuum blade!
Bloody flare! Where are you going?
I'm not done!
Do it!
You're
Carve
finished!
now through... Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! My turn!
with the earth.
The flame inside me! You're mine! Be let free! You're finished!
Bringing you up! I can handle it! In here!
On your knees! I'm not done! You picked the wrong fight!
Reload!
You're mine!
Radiant! Here!
Can't get out of this! The fluidity of
In an instant! Impact block!
You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
If that's true, and if we go down, we should find the great...
I have
on
a
to your
bad
art.
feeling about this.
Here I come!
I shall ensure you survive this.
what I can do!
Lunar corruption!
Here I come! Demon Fang!
Roar! These ones put more drinks around us!
Eternal devastation!
Shine!
Demon Fang!
light!
Regeneration! Eternal devastation! Thanks! No
Not
escape!
in your dreams!
Demon Fang! Damn it! It's too
Do
fast!
Stand back!
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Burn in hell! Take this! Mirage! Strike! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Crush! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Water, hear my call!
My turn! Demon Fang!
Might with dragon blade!
Do it!
To be sealed!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go,
Now!
Athens!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
No escape! Demon Fang!
Gale Force!
Resonate with the earth!
Light astral energy!
On your... No further!
Water, hear my call!
Demon Fang!
Demon Lance!
Spread!
I still got a ways to go!
Really bad feeling about this.
Here I come!
You got that feel.
It's over! The
I
flame
never
inside me,
miss.
yours to be let free!
Hey.
Eternal
Not even
devastation!
fair.
Not today!
Here goes.
Demon
Elusive
Fang!
deity. Confiscated.
Getting
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the pummeling to me.
Rotating pile driver!
Demon Fang! Eternal devastation!
Lightning attack.
I'm not done!
What in the world?
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Let's...
In between heaven and earth. Recover!
This one's all
Can't
mine.
get out of
this!
Lightning! I will heal you all!
Ignite!
Sleep now.
Do it! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed walk.
Tornado Drive! Eternal Devastation!
Raging Storm!
You're
Can't
mine!
get out of this!
Demon Fang! Strike!
By the power
Demon
of
Fang!
now!
All yours, Kisara!
My turn! Crush!
Annihilation!
It's on!
What?
I'm not done!
Take this!
Eat dirt! Eternal Devastation!
Now you see what I can do! Light axe illuminates the magic in this one's mine!
Take this! Crush!
Holy land!
In a
Standing
bind!
form! Here
Eternal
goes!
Devastation!
Don't mind if I do!
Crush!
Mega Ray!
You're finished!
Regeneration!
Demon
Thank you for the healing, Dogwood.
Our comrades need our abilities to survive.
No one is dying on our watch.
Take this! Demon Fang! Raining
Flame of
Slash!
Fury!
I'm not done!
Hear my glory!
Eagle Ray!
Winds of
Eternal
heaven! Burst forth! Flame! Reload!
Eternal Devastation!
Magic command! Light acceleration!
No further!
Nothing gets by me!
Raging Aqua!
Far enough!
You're mine!
Annihilation!
Crush!
No
Lyric
dawn shall break
It's
this
on!
night!
Lightning!
Crush!
Oh, violent darting
Burn!
wind! Still card! Now to
Crush!
all!
Heal my
Demon
weary
Fang!
friend!
Annihilate you all!
Now I
Dr.
can let
West.
loose.
Blah, blah, blah! Annihilation!
You're mine!
Field!
Eternal Devastation!
I'm ready!
Here I come!
I never miss!
Crush! Catapult! Eternal
Far beyond the
Devastation!
darkest sky!
Smash you!
I call upon... There you go! Don't let up! A whirling struggle. Will this help? Winds of heaven! Burst forth!
I've used too much. Now or never.
Sealed!
Can't get out of this!
It's too much!
Get up! Not in your dreams! Back into
It's
the fray!
on!
On your wall!
Not
Do
today!
it! This works! Astral energy!
Say no more!
So I still had room to grow.
The design of this... Equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphen.
Don't get careless!
Mirage!
Don't tell me!
You're mine!
Cut
and flash!
Ready to go!
Spread! Here I damn it! Soaring light spear!
A wailing
Mirage! I'm not done! It's over! I have no limits!
Prepare to be sealed, Lethal. Actually, sound is more appropriate.
Let's talk in more doing!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Breath of life! Heal my weary companion!
We've turned the tables on him.
There is still more left!
Right. No time to hold back.
Wailing banshee of lightning!
Dance on the wind!
There!
Let's
Vacuum blade!
take this!
There!
Not so smug now. Ready?
I can't imagine what we'd do without you, Renwell.
Who, me? That's a little much, don't you think?
In a
I'm
bind?
serious. You're a lifesaver. I'm pretty worn out.
Want to rest up for a bit?
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
That'll bring you down!
Burn in hell! Time to cross blade!
Rendering you apart! I'll smash you! Bloody howler!
Far enough! A whirling circle!
Negative victory! Take this!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Glacial Steel!
There! Ha! Not today!
I can carve through armor!
I'm not done!
Can't get out of this! The fluidity of your movements is simply incredible. Can you take it? Begin!
This one's mine! Ready to go!
Mirage!
Forgive me.
You'll pay for that!
Far enough!
A wailing banshee of lightning! Divine savior! Hold on to your art. Here I come!
I don't even know the
Not
word
today.
defeat.
Searing flame!
Shattering pieces!
Not in your dreams!
Now you
Lightning
see what I can
condensed!
do!
Gemini Aqua!
Eternal devastation!
Illumination! Holy
Try harder!
Deity!
Now!
Ready to go! Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact cross!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case. These structures don't look like anything built by the Renans, or even what we saw in the Forbidden Zone.
Perhaps this is the true architectural style.
This won't easy.
Don't be such a pessimist.
More of this and I'll burn out! Demon Fang! It's over!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
These things really get on my nerves.
In a bind?
It's on!
Blind freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
Do it! No sooner said than...
Hey! Blow them away! Not shattering pieces!
Where are you going? This one's
Here
mine!
I come!
Prepare to be sealed,
done.
oh Lito.
I never miss!
Actually, sound is more appropriate.
Eternal
Less
devastation!
talking, more doing.
I'll smash you!
Reload! Far enough!
Execution!
Now!
Demon Fang!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Certainly not. The flame inside me yearns to be let free! I'll face you! In a bind?
Magic is there! We don't have firearms here in Dana.
I can show you mine if you like.
That would be really awesome, Shion.
Strike! Down on the ground!
Astral energy!
Penumbra! This should do it!
Here, flame of fury! Burning!
Glacial
Spear! Pierce evil!
Mirage! Down on the ground! Explosive ring!
Soaring blood!
Can't get out of this! Winwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Not
Flame
chance!
of fury!
Mirage!
I can carve through armor!
Eternal devastation!
Now!
Demon chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
My concentration is dwindling. Perhaps I'm tired. I shall ensure you survive this!
I can't hold on much longer! Glacial Spear! Pierce
Flame
evil!
inside
I
me
never
yearns
miss!
to be let free!
Tempest Whirl!
Not today!
Lunar Corruption!
Take this!
Celestial Hammer!
Move it! Get! Demon Fang!
I'm ready!
All yours, Kisara!
Now! Here I come! This
Not
one's
on
all
my
mine!
watch.
Dance on the
Lunar
wind!
Corruption!
Ignite!
Great power of water!
Here I come!
Raising you up
Demon
top.
Fang!
Do it! Magic is get toasty!
Burn strike! Not a chance!
Radiant
Rare!
Radiant Light! Here!
Negative crush!
Radiant Lunar Corruption!
Escape!
Do it!
Demon chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect... You'll be in high demand if that's the case.
I have a bad feeling about this.
No further!
Light Astral Energy! Illuminate
Vacuum
the
blade!
Radiant Here! Holy Glimmer!
Eternal
Glacial
devastation!
Spear!
Negative
Pierce
gain!
evil! Careful! It has no kind of
I'm not
camouflage!
done!
Leave the charge!
Hold nothing back!
Lightning Power Thunder Blade! A chain between heaven and earth!
Eternal
A wailing
devastation!
banshee of light! Lunar corruption!
Crush! Dance on the wall!
Ready and raring!
Benediction
Dance in the
Ready?
wind!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Will this help?
Dance in the wind!
Burn! Heal!
Air
Take this!
A
Demon
chain
Fang!
between heaven and earth! I never miss! A wailing banshee of lightning!
Now you see what I can do!
Nobody do that! Divine Savior! A whirling outstanding form!
Demon Fang!
Healing first force! Sleep now!
Resonate with the earth! Can't get out of
Need to
this!
pull myself together.
By the power of flame!
This
My
one's all
defense
mine.
without a trace!
Ha! Burn!
Everlasting dark!
Gale force!
Eternal devastation!
No dawn, no flame!
Amazing.
Flame of holy land! Burning!
Hear my call!
Take that! Lightning!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
No
Got
more
it.
playing
I'll
night!
leave it to you!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing light to accomplish
Eternal
this.
Denied!
A wailing banshee of
Soaring
lightning!
blast!
Move it! Get!
I think I'm coming down with something grave.
A chronic inability to
further.
read the room?
A malady your art cannot fix.
Try harder! My turn!
Begin!
Crush!
I'll grind you into
It's
dust!
Burn!
Elusive deity!
Eternal devastation! Demon Fang!
When it is
I'm not done! No escape!
Shine! Radiant light!
Don't get in my
Force
way!
of regeneration! I'm nearly done for. Shine! Radiant light!
Try harder!
Here, let me help.
Begin!
I'm not done!
I can carve through armor! Take this!
Eternal devastation! Streaming
It
pack!
looks like Dance in the wind!
The enemy wields art too.
Kisara!
Commander of Heavens!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Hey! Anyone else think this might be a touch too dangerous?
Ridwell's right. We should fall back to regroup and try again later.
Those thorns.
I'm not letting them get in our way!
Look, looks like some solid equipment. Really bad feeling about this.
Come one, come all!
Glacial Spear!
Here I come!
Here's evil! Far enough!
That buzzing is driving me mad!
Shield from calamity!
You got flyers!
I've got this.
Demon
Let a
Fang!
marksman handle it.
Demon Fang! All yours!
Elusive deity!
This one's all mine! Not today!
Freeze Lantern! Holy Wrath! One more time!
Eternal devastation!
I can carve through armor!
Demon Fang! Okay, here I go! Eternal devastation!
Magic is ample!
I'm not done!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! This one's mine!
Devastation!
Dance in the wind!
Rising Phoenix!
Field!
Eternal devastation! Demon Fang!
Now, Law! Get toasty!
Burn strike! My turn!
Magic is amped!
Prepare to be sealed, O fleet of foot.
Here's evil!
Actually, perhaps bound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Right in!
Dance in the wind!
Devastation!
Field!
We've turned the tables on him.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Bathed in blood.
Freeze Lantern!
Lunar Rumble!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Here's evil!
Rising Phoenix! I'm not done! It's on!
In a bind?
Eternal devastation!
Anthem!
Ignite! Demon Fang!
Where are you going?
Here I come!
I'm ready! All yours, Kisara!
Do it!
My turn!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
I can feel my power growing!
Don't get careless.
tell
mind if I
me.
do?
Crush!
Let me
Demon
free
Fang!
you of your
Forward!
power.
Hear my call! Supernova!
A spot of feet,
Here I
anyone?
go! Fall into thine own depth!
Devastation!
Concentration!
Hold nothing back! Devastation!
Prepare to be sealed.
Mirage!
Lightning condemned!
Blow away!
Penumbra!
Lightning strike!
Magic is there!
Thanks!
Holy
Demon
Land!
Fang!
Why are you human?
To stop you dying?
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Captivity can't get out of this.
Ha! Burn in hell!
Raging storm!
Crush!
Seismic
Demon Fang!
Amazing.
Let me see what I can do.
Eternal devastation!
Down on the ground.
Crush!
Shine.
Demon Fang!
Force of regeneration. Regenerate.
Take crush!
Take drinking orb!
No further.
Here I come! Eternal devastation! Demon Fang!
Magic is there! Annihilation! Hold on!
Hitting pile driver. Tornado drop.
That'll bring you down!
Devastation! Burn in hell!
Take this.
Raging pain!
Captivity.
Here I come! Demon Fang!
Hard healing! Magic is there!
I'll smash you.
Freeze Lancer!
Shall not be forgotten.
Eternal
I owe you,
devastation!
Sion. Healing is what my arts do best. All my demons cause havoc
In
and
a vine.
destruction. Watch and crush! Cancellation!
Eat dirt!
Radiant Paddle!
Here I come!
Magic is there!
This is bad, right?
Yes, Alvin. Very bad.
I don't feel so good.
Blah, blah,
You're
blah.
mine!
Divine Savior!
Deity. Behold, the Earth pulse. Tectonic vision. I'll grind you into dust. The tempest is your field. Reflect the take this. They
Annihilation!
I'm not done!
Lightning! Power!
Demon Fang!
I can carve through armor.
Lunar corruption! By the raging
The
tempest!
arts are being interrupted.
Field!
Take this.
Here's a healing art! This way!
Crush! Demon Fang!
Recover! Radiant here! Where are you going?
Eternal devastation!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Don't get killed!
Stay calm. Don't tell me. I shall provide assistance.
This one's all this! Ignite!
Shining Disconnect!
Demon Fang! You're mine! Crush! Now I can let loose! Eternal devastation!
With my art can do. Rising sun!
Eternal devastation!
Rending you apart.
Lightning
There!
orb! Dance
Resonate
to
with
the
the
wind!
earth.
Here are
Eternal
air thrust!
devastation! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
A whirling struggle!
The flame
Winds
inside
of
me
heaven!
yearns to be
Burst forth!
victory!
Hear my
Dance
call!
on the wind.
Ignite!
Spread!
On
Splinter
your
spear! Pierce evil!
Take this!
Freeze Lancer! Lightning
Can't get
orb!
out of this.
Photon!
You're
Illuminate the
mine! No escape! Demon Fang!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
I'm
My
going to
turn.
need to use all the power of my healing
Deity.
Escape! Demon Fang! It's over!
Resurrection!
Eternal devastation!
Everlasting darkness.
Lightning! The
Negative
flames in the sky
Take
is
it.
mine!
Bathe
Burn
in
it!
blood.
Do it!
Eternal devastation!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Haha!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I think Hoodle's hungry.
Funny. I could have sworn that was your stomach making all the racket. Let's see what got.
Take
Try harder!
Sonic
My
Spear!
turn! I'm not
I think I'll pass on the handshake.
I have no limits! Try harder! Now or never!
In a bind?
Crush!
Into the shadows!
Eternal devastation!
Mega Ray!
Take it! Ignite!
Amazing.
You're on!
Down on the
You're
ground.
mine! Demon Fire! Fear! Crush!
Tornado
Drive!
Winds of heaven!
Eternal devastation! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Crush!
Now you see what I can do! Rotating Dragon!
Holy Land!
Eternal
Resonate with the
devastation!
earth! You let another incantation ruin it! Take this!
Eternal devastation! Eternal devastation! Demon Fire! There!
Pierce evil!
You're
Ready to go!
Okay.
Freeze Lancer!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Shine! Radiant light! It's over! I can carve through armor! Regenerate!
Seal bring you down!
Allow me to help you.
Eternal
Thank you,
devastation!
Dohalim.
I only did what any other would.
One more!
I think you're nicer than you let on.
Raging Cascade!
Take this!
It looks like you got this one covered.
You'll find no mercy! Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Lunar Corruption!
Raging
Cascade!
Burn it
Thanks
out!
so much! I'm all
Sleep now.
They smite with
More
lightning
Flame!
blade!
There!
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Wind
This is looking good!
Take that!
I mean, you're dead, Joker. Then tonight's meal is on you.
Now I can
You've got it.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my
Crush!
demons to
Dohalim!
accomplish.
In an instant! Impact Cross!
Don't push yourself too hard.
I found... some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.